It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Welcome to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new exciting show today. I was out of town last week at a conference, so back in the studio this week. Brand new show, tons of great information, and really the biggest news, huge numbers in the brand new market numbers. They're down almost 50% last month. Sales down 50% almost last month, which is a massive drop in home sales. We'll take a deep dive into what that means, kind of what's going on there overall. We'll also look at top 3 reasons to sell your home this season, which is kind of that winter holiday season. I'll talk about why we're still seeing some success, especially some very high-end homes that's happening. The good news, though, is even though sales are down, prices haven't really dropped too much, which is great. They're still holding tight because inventory is like that wild card that's holding prices up, which is something we'll talk about today overall. We'll also talk about how this current market is still pretty good. While inventory is low before the first of the year, we'll probably see a big plethora of listings hit the market, as we always do the 1st of January. And so if you're thinking about doing that, you probably want to have some ducks in the row. There's a good opportunity right now to get some high-end stuff sold. Some really a lot of people buying right now as well. Some also a couple more horror stories we really talked about with some of these investors out there right now. They're really tying people down and kind of taking their equity. When a lot of people have massive equity that they're letting go very, very easily by just not having someone licensed who can protect them. Also, some amazing success stories. Our team's been absolutely crushing. Most agents have taken their foot off the pedal during the holidays. Our team has doubled down. We're doubling down now. We're continuing to hustle every single day and push that finish line like we do every single year for a long time as well. And also, if we have time, we'll talk about a real estate scholarship we've been offering for people. Any listeners out there want to potentially join our team and be in real estate and serve clients at the highest level. We have a scholarship where we set up a school. We can get you licensed. It doesn't cost you anything. We make that investment for you and cover that for you to help you be a part of our team for the person that's the right fit. And so we'll talk about all that today. And also really quick housekeeping. We do stream all these. If you want to go back and listen to one of those episodes, you can go to YouTube and just search Sloan Realty Group and Blake Sloan. Go to my Facebook personally and follow me. You can go to Sloan Realty Group Facebook. There we'll also put these in popular podcast portals for you as well. And so you can always go back and watch those and obviously listen to these on Saturdays and Sundays on WRNN 99.5. So take a quick break right in a second.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you just tuned in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also Fox and Show. We get personal endorsements here backed by Sean Hannity. Also, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaBasse. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing. But the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, I was actually looking at my Facebook today, and 10 years ago today was actually in the studio recording this same exact show. And so things have changed a lot since then. I think we can all kind of understand that. But the reality is the market's changed massively just in the last 9 months. And so with the market and the amount of sales being down 50%, it's not that crazy frenzy like it was before. And here's the thing, I'll just be real about it. 9 months ago, anybody can get in real estate, take some cell phone photos, get the property sold, and do a decent job, right? Because there's a massive frenzy out there. But now, here's the thing. I see people make this same mistake over and over and over and over again. It costs them tens and tens of thousands of dollars when they're dealing with their largest asset. And the thing is, the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent that you choose, period, right? Not the wall color, not the quality of the carpet, not the grass quality, right? It comes down to the agent you choose. And specifically, how does the agent you choose actually execute? Most people don't realize there's so many nuances and things in getting a property sold because it has a long sales cycle and it's a high ticket item. And so there's so many moving parts and pieces about that. And so what most agents do are the 3 Ps. They promise you will get a listing. Number 2, they put it into MLS. And number 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. And meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing because they're just out there trying to survive. And so the biggest mistake I see that consumers make, and I made a promise to myself many years ago that I'd share this every week, because no matter how many times I've shared it, every week I still experience this with someone who made this mistake. And even people that listen to the show who made the mistake and then come back to us because they were lucky enough that the agent didn't sell it and didn't cost himself 30 grand. And so they make the mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be any further from the truth. Just like any doctor, any lawyer, right? If you're charged with a crime you didn't commit, I don't want the cheapest lawyer. I don't want the lawyer who just got into, just started practicing law, just got out of law school, who my friend recommended. I want the absolute best, most aggressive attorney who specializes in that type of law. And so you should demand that same level of excellence when you're dealing for your largest assets. And specifically for most people, that's going to be their real estate. And so what they don't realize when you're selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z, where each one of those variables can make or break your home sale. If each one's handled correctly, puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point, that costs you your hard-earned equity. I see this happen all the time where it's $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in the home sale. Home seller gets to the finish line thinking they did a great job, very happy, but they don't realize, looking back from the outside, they cost themselves $30,000, $40,000 in the home sale because the strategy wasn't done right. It wasn't executed the right way. And that's something you see happen over and over and over again. And so the problem is it's impossible for one single agent to juggle all those balls. There's just too many things that have to happen in the right order for one person to do that. The problem with the industry is 95% of people plus still operate the old school cassette tape way, where you have one agent who's trying to do everything, right? They're trying to do the marketing, they're trying to do the buyers, they're trying to do the sellers, they're trying to do the closing coordination, they're trying to do all the communication to the clients. And so it's impossible for one person to do all of that, just like it'd be impossible for the same person McDonald's, the front register, the drive-through, and the French fries at the same time. But they can't see the difference in regards to how real estate operates that way. And so you want to make sure you have someone who has systems and processes and people in place to manage all those variables. And so when I got into real estate, so there's got to be a better way. And I got mentors and coaches and spent lots of money and invested and said, look, there's got to be a better way. And what we did was we looked at what people did outside of real estate in regular traditional type businesses and said, how can we have businesses like that operate with predictability and systems and processes, and put that into real estate? We can give our client a great experience where they can get predictable results every single time. And I know if I spend X amount of dollars here, right, I get Y return back on the back end. And so it's one of those things where it's very, very important to make sure there's a system and a process. And so I sought out and designed one called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system that sells twice as fast and for up to 21% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. Where most agents out there are just putting a property out there, and most consumers don't even realize the average agent or marketplace sells roughly 4 homes a year. There's just not enough experience out there to help navigate through all those nuances to get you to that closing table successfully. There's just not enough money to market with. If the average agent is selling 4 homes a year, there's barely any money to eat with, much less spending marketing to get your property sold. But for some reason, consumers make that mistake of just going with any old agent who they're referred to versus going to the best who have systems, processes, people. And on top of that, a lot of money to invest up front on their behalf to get the result they want. So that Guaranteed Sold System is designed to do one thing, is give you, the client, the competitive advantage in the process. And that's what we do every single day. On the flip side, for buyers out there, guess what? Experience matters too. And so there's 100 plus variables when you're buying a property. If each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket, you get the property you want. If anything's handled incorrectly, meaning that they mishandle or drop the ball at any point, that costs you money, or you miss out on the property that you want. And so we sought out and did the same exact thing there. Create a system. I designed it called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get your property access to foreclosure, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as home inspection to get you to that closing table successfully. And so if you listen to the show to say, look, understand that the agent you choose matters, right? You want to understand the nuances and the ins and outs and have someone who can foresee what's going to happen to help navigate that with the right expertise, the right guidance, to really, really kind of break it down to really a few different things. Tenacity, which is what we pride ourselves on. Trust, where our clients can really trust us in what we do. And expertise from doing this for almost 20 years now at the top level of the game. And so if you want to know more how it works and really learn about how you can give yourself that competitive advantage, reach out to me. Call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home right now, every detail means dollars, and who you hire to negotiate your home, that really matters. Hey, Sean Hannity here, and as an active investor who invests in real estate all across the great country of ours, I want the best negotiator representing my interests. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. They can help you navigate through multiple cash offers, and more importantly, he has turned complicated situations into 5-star reviews. Now check out his rave reviews on Google. talk to him yourself. If you are on trial with big money,
Probably about 10 minutes in.
Okay.
Negotiator with
Thank you.
Plenty of time.
if they will take you on and you can afford them, right? Well, your home deserves the best representation. Know your options, see how much demand your home can command in this market right now, and get the best representation that you deserve. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Barber. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sellers, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers at top crunch, we can agree to sell it by a certain date and take after it all even right now.
That's great. And if the seller has a big fortune,
Use our free marketing plan and sell for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new market numbers in, and they are very, very, very interesting. We'll talk about that. First, really quick, we'll do the numbers that we really talked about for a while now since COVID. We have two types of numbers that we talk about for our clients, just to help you have understanding of like what's going on and see real-time data that helps you make better decisions on the back end. And that's what we do. I'm a big nerd for numbers. We really use that with our clients, and we say, here's the data, here's how to really break it down, and here's how you make better decisions with your assets. And that's just kind of what we focus on. I subscribe to every data source possible. And obviously we track this every morning in my office. We go over that morning huddle with our team every morning at 9 a.m. And we go look at how many properties went under contract the last 7-day period. And we track that because it allows me to have a real-time pulse of what's happening. And so we can advise our client, hey, look, you may want to push a little higher. You want to be a little bit less aggressive, right? We're able to make that decision based on what's happening in real time. The other type of numbers are the numbers that close, which is what the masses use. And those are properties that close the last month. The problem that is the ones that closed last month went under contract 30 to 60 days prior. And so you don't want to use just that data because it's not real time. And so looking at real time data, the last 7 days as of this morning, the last 7 days in the entire Grand Strand area, our entire marketplace, 366 properties went under contract for 133 million. Anything below 150 has really kind of been fairly low. If you look back, last week's show, there's 358 under contract for 131 million. If you go back to really 1028, there's 445 properties under contract for 150 million. If you go back just 30 weeks ago, it's 700 properties under contract for about 220 million. And that was down from the peak earlier this year, whereas 800 properties per 7 days. So we're really seeing that. And that's how I predicted this 45% decline in sales, because we saw that in a real-time data just a couple months ago. And so looking at active listings right now, 923 active single-family homes for sale right now in Horry County. If you look at just last week's show, 945 active listings. So it went down just a little bit. And if you look back just 30 weeks ago, there's 382 properties. So it went from 382 active to 923 active. So a significant increase in terms of the amount of properties available for sale. Here's one thing though, looking at in the last 7 days, only 6 properties over $1 million under contract, which is interesting, right? If you go back to last show, there's 13 properties over 1 million under contract. This last 7 days, 56 properties over 500,000 under contract. Versus last week's show, 53 properties over 500,000. So there's a $5 million oceanfront property. We are seeing some significant high-end oceanfront properties. So we will probably see that happen the next few weeks, where a lot of our high-end buyers are 1031 exchangers. They're coming in trying to lock something up before the end of the year. That's something we've been working really hard on for our clients out there as well. But it is alarming. It's just flat out alarming seeing, only 366 properties under contract in the last 7 days, where earlier this year we were 800 plus for many times throughout that year. And so you're seeing just less demand. That's happened and slowly gone down as interest rates have gone up. The good news is we have a little bit of good news. Interest rates, they dropped back down. But the thing is, a lot of consumers don't even know that. They're still thinking it's over 7 when it's actually not over 7. So looking at last month's numbers, let's look at the rear view mirror data. It's shocking for a lot of people. We've been tracking this every single week. So we've been kind of talking about this for a while, but now it's finally backed up with actual closed data. So last month in our MLS, the entire Grand Strand, for single family homes that are resale homes, anything non-new construction, sales down 43.8%. I was watching this 2 days ago. As the month goes on, more data gets put in and the number kind of goes up, but it was right about 47-48% in terms of decline. You're looking at year over year here. So looking at November versus November. So November this year, 371 properties that closed. Going back, obviously, to last year, there's 660 properties that close. And even from March, there are 703 properties that close. Right now, 371. So a 50% drop from the peak there, which is very, very scary to look at overall. Sales price, though, has been pretty decent. Median sales price is actually up month versus month, which is good. Right now, $362,000, up 13.3% from last year. Last month was 360. This month, 362, which is good news to see that go up. I do think we'll probably see that soften a little more. It has softened, though, from the peak this year in May at 380,000. So from 380 at the peak down to 362 right now. Average sale price, it did decline a little bit. It's up 14.4% from the same month last year at 446,693, but it's down from the previous month at 452,795. The peak this year, though, was at 488,186, down to 446. So we've seen a 15% drop in terms of prices from the peak this year. And here's the thing about data. You can make data look any way you want to. And so my job is to kind of show all the right angles so our clients can make the best decision. But looking at it right now, if you look at, okay, how is this really performing in terms of price of my house? The prices for your house out there, the houses out there peaked this year in April at 488,186. Right now they're at 446, which is about a 15% drop. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at what's happening or your strategy in terms of what doing. That's just supply and demand, right? The good news, though, is inventory is still very tight in terms of historically. It is up significantly now. It's up 92% from last year. If you watch the graph, it just kind of jumps up like crazy. But early this year, and right down the December, January is 0.9 months inventory. And that's an overall metric used in terms of how fast does the run rate happen. So if there wasn't a new listing put on the market, it would be sold out in 0.9 months, right? Right now, it's at 2.5 months inventory, which is still very, very low historically. If you go back to the last time it was at 2.5 months, it was November 2020. If you go back, though, not long to just, let's say November 2019, there was 5 months inventory. And so we're still half of that right now. And so we're still in what we call a seller's market. That's just because a lot of sellers aren't moving. People have lots of equity, don't have to sell. We haven't seen massive job loss yet. But one thing we're just seeing there is people are locked in at 2 and 3% for interest rates. And so they're really not moving, right? Because rates are up at 6 to 7%. It's holding tight in inventory. And so inventory right now is what's holding the prices where they are. You're not seeing too much of decline, which is good news because there is still significant buyer demand out there, which is something that's important to look at overall. So that's something we'll keep watching overall as well. Days on market's also up. It's taking 13.8% longer to sell right now. It's 66 days on market overall. If you look at condos, into condo sales, looking at those sales down 46.2%. Yesterday they were at 48% decline. So last month, only 392 condo sales overall. If you go to November last year, there was 729. And so if you look at the peak this year, there was 804 closed in 1 month, down to 392. So a 50% drop in terms of sales just this year between March when it peaked out to November just last month. And so that's something we'll see eventually kind of take a little bit of a toll on price. Price still doing pretty well, though. Overall median price for condos up 20.4% from last year. Right now, median price $234,875. Average sale price right now also up, which is great, up 16.8% from last year. And it's up from last month, which was $259,643. Right now we're at $266,116. And so still seeing that go up, which is good. It is down from the peak this year at $276. So about $10,000 down from the peak in terms of condos, which peaked out in May. And that's something we kind of see. That's when rates started going up. Months of supply. Check this out. Crazy number. Supply is up 187.5%. So 187.5% more condos. And that's because we were just so low. Really at the peak when we were at 0.5 months inventory back between January and February. The last time we were at this 2.3 months was between March and really February of 2021. But if you go back just to April 2020, there was 6 months inventory almost. So we're still half of that where we were just in 2020. And so that was when that massive run came up in 2020 to 2021. And so we're seeing that normalize. The good news is inventory is still very low. Historically, it's still anything less than 6 months inventory is what they call a seller's market, meaning that the seller has the advantage in that process. And so that's something we keep looking at overall as well. Days on market's up 21.2%, meaning it's taking 21% longer for those properties to sell that are selling overall. And so that's just something we'll keep watching overall as well. And so showings per listing, Traffic for looking at listings right now is down 51.6%, only 3.0 showings per listing in our MLS. And so what that means is you're seeing about 50% less buyers in the market, and that's what we'll probably continue to see these numbers looking a little bit dismal for December and probably into January as well. And so one thing driving that we'll look at and talk about is interest rates. Interest rates, though, right? We hit new record after new record for a couple weeks there. It peaked out earlier, just about a month ago, at 7.37%. The good news is it's down from last week's show. Last week at 6.64. Right now we're at 6.32. And so I did find once it got over 7, it was almost like a dead stop. People just were on the sidelines. Right now we're seeing that go back down. Many of my mortgage connections and our preferred mortgage lender are talking about seeing that really in first quarter come back down where it's a little bit more normal, a little more less painful. But one thing we're seeing, there's a lot of pent-up buyers on the sidelines. There's still a 5 million unit home shortage that buyers need properties. And so you're seeing them still on the sidelines. And the minute rates go down, you're going to see them jump back in like crazy. And so if you're thinking about buying, there's still a great opportunity right now to get a property, a fair price without 10, 15 offers on it, get some money off the price and get in. And then worst case, you can come back and refinance later on. And that's something we'll keep watching overall as well. So the good news is rates back down a little bit, 6.32% for a 30-year fix, a 15-year fix right now, 5.74, a 30-year jumbo loan, 5.72%, an adjust rate mortgage for a 5.1, 5.87, a 30-year FHA right now, 5.82%, and a 30-year VA loan, 5.90%, which is great, down below 6 for a lot of those, which is good news. And so if you want to know more how that works or reach out, have questions about interest rates or anything about how can you get your most money for your house right now, we're still selling a lot of property between 15 and 20 a week, every single week, and we're pushing hard. So if you want to know more about that, how it works, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime.
WRNN listeners, Clay Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home. Really true, Clay.
About 5.5 minutes
Okay.
left or so.
Awesome. I'll do hot bar alert and success story.
Sell a home and buy a new one. Ask Blake about his guarantee. Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it himself. And since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with two mortgages. There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 five-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group. And tune in to Blake's show Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Hot buyer alert. My team and I are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers. We're looking for homes in Myrtle Beach, Grand Strand area from $250,000 up to $4.3 million. If you're thinking about selling, please contact us immediately, 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. One of the things we're most proud of and that we've been doing for a very long time is putting our money where our mouth is. We outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. And that's the one thing everybody asks, hey, look, what makes you different is we're still have the pedal to the metal, spending massive amounts of money, bringing buyers in across the country, everywhere, driving traffic online. And it allows us to tee up these buyers for your home when you come in to list it. Well, we can match up with one of the buyers that we have already in waiting. And so one thing we do every week, we share this, our hot buyers and how many active buyers we have right now on our website. Active home buyers with username, password, account, 70,383 active home buyers. Again, 70,383 active home buyers. And so right now on the site, from all over, I got Lisa from Summers, New York. I got Jennifer from Westminster, California. I got Trista from Conway, South Carolina. I got Josh from Blackwood, New Jersey. Here's a cool one. Lindsay Rogers from Beverly Hills, California. I got Julie from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I got Troy from Fort Mill, South Carolina. And so the bottom line is, so we have a massive, massive reach. I have somebody from Indiana. I've got Rhode Island, North Carolina, and Charlotte, Sumter, South Carolina, Maryland, PA. So the reality is we have thousands and thousands of buyers that we have already looking on our site. And like I mentioned, why most agents have been running for the hills as the market has slowed down. We've been doubling down because we're gobbling up market share. We're really setting ourselves apart for our clients. We're very well capitalized. And so we're doing this to help give our clients a massive competitive advantage. And so not only is there a seasonal influx here, we're seeing the interest rate driven kind of decline in buyers right now, you want to have an agent who has access to these buyers from all across the country. And our tactical advantage is we have a team of about 30 agents who are on the phones all day, every day, including right now, calling these leads, servicing them, giving them the right service, and they're sharing the properties that match across the entire MLS. But obviously, we share our properties because that's what we're in business to do. That's what our home sellers hired us to do. And so we have a technology that literally reverse engineers the most likely buyer for your property based on their previous search patterns. And so it's just like a Facebook ad or anything you see where it pops up. It's very relevant to you. It's the same thing that we do. And so if you know anybody out there during these holidays that talks about real estate and thinking about selling, if you've been listening, just do me a favor and say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake. And so there's going to be a lot of time with relatives and sitting down and people talk about just life, right? And so as you have this happen, don't let them make this mistake. I see so many people make is just going with an inferior realtor who doesn't have the pockets, doesn't have the marketing budget, doesn't have the understanding and expertise to help guide them to get the property sold in this very, very, very difficult market. So have them reach out, call me 843-808. So real quick, couple success stories. Just very proud of these. Lois was purchasing another home in the area, but needed to sell her current home first to be able to close on the new one. That's a catch-22 of real estate. Her concern was she felt the home needed some updating in order to get the price she was wanting. She met with multiple investors and other realtors to see what options were. She did not have the time or resources to make many of the updates that the other realtors told her she needed to make. Thankfully, Lois was referred to Sloan Group by an amazing radio listener. We came and met with her. We have hundreds and hundreds of buyers who are looking for homes in all kinds of conditions, including the current condition of her home. And we can get it sold for top dollar in the current condition. Came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough. Within just a couple of days, drove massive traffic, received it as is, meaning current condition, all cash offer on her home. Now Lois can move on to confidence to continue buying her new home with ease and confidence in her transaction, which is awesome. Also, big shout out to past clients here, Mortiz and Raleigh. They're past clients of us, and they recently made a decision to sell their second home, Myrtle Beach, where they can cash out maximum equity, top of the market. They decided, obviously, to give us a call. We came in, share our guaranteed sold system, how we get their house sold for top dollar in the time frame they wanted, designed a custom plan, launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual walkthrough. In a couple weeks, of massive traffic, had amazing offer from their home. Now they're able to cash out the top of the market before prices really dropped, and their happy past clients came back. So if you want to be one of those, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. I think I have one quick minute left. Big shout out. We're really ramping up for 2023. Like I mentioned, we've been doubling down on advertising. I just had a massive increase in spend for our pay-per-click advertising because my strategy, same we did during COVID, many agents who have just been there, who are come and go flash in the pan, are really just backing off, and we're doubling down. And so if you want somebody who's super aggressive, I mentioned this, right? We're very tenacious in what we do in terms of how we operate. Number two, we're very, very trustworthy. We really pride ourselves on that in telling our clients what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. And we also have that expertise to back it up. And so if you want to know how to get the most for your home, reach out, call me. Do me a favor in the holidays and say anyone that mentions real estate, say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake. Save me your phone at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. Also, we have a real estate scholarship. We're going to go ahead and put you through real estate school if you're really ambitious, you want to serve at the highest level. We're really passionate about our clients and over-delivering in every aspect. You can go to SloanScholarship.com, learn about that, or reach out, call my office at any time, BlakeSloan.com or 843-808. So we'll see you back here next week.